What's going on, guys? Teams here, and today I'm going to be covering the settings in the main menu of Forge. Now before I actually get started, I'd like to say that this game is in beta. So let's go ahead and get started now. Alright, so when you press the launch button and when you log in, you're introduced to this main menu. It's a very simple main menu. You have Forge up here, you have your name, quick play, play, community account, settings, and exit. We'll get started with settings. Okay, when you click settings, you're introduced with 4 other tabs. You have graphics, audio, input, and game. Graphics will cover first. So you have your screen resolution, and it ranges from 640 by 480 to 1920 by 1080. Now, I'm not exactly sure if there's Eyefinity support for 3 or 2 monitors, because this is still in beta. You also have the full screen option. If you want to play in windowed mode, be sure to just check it off like that. But since I like to play full screen, I'll just keep an X. The texture detail is low for me. It can go lowest, it can go highest, but I kept it low just because I want it to run a little better. Anti-aliasing, I completely turn that off for every single game I play. Brightness, I left it at default. Motion blur, I took that off. Dynamic lights, took that off. Dynamic shadows, took that off. VSync, took that off. Depth of field is still on. I'm not exactly sure what that is either, but I just left it. Bloom, took it off. Light shafts, took it off. And distortion, checked that off. Indiness is something I've never seen before exactly. I don't know what it is. I might cover it later. But for now, let's move on to the next thing. Audio. You have your master, your combat, events, ambient, music, and menu volume. There's actually quite a bit of a variety. Usually you'll have something like master, music, and sound effects or voice effects or whatever in a game, but this covers a lot of aspects of audio. But for now, I left it at default and didn't even bother messing with it. Input. These will be your controls pretty much. There's subcategories keys and mouse. Keys, you have primary, secondary, and controller, so this does have Xbox 360 controller support. To move forward, backward, left, and right, you have WASD. Jump is left control, but since I have space bind as my secondary, that's perfectly fine as well. Sprinting would be left shift. When you're in combat, before I want to cover these, I want to go down here. There is combat overrides for each class. There's Assassin, Pathfinder, Pyromancer, Shaman, and Warden. So the normal combat would be separate from these, as you can tell. But for combat, I have left mouse button as my basic attack. 1 is my second ability, technically my first ability. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then block would be my right mouse button. Throw relic, I don't have that binded yet because I have no idea what that is. And stop casting would be pretty much stop casting your spell. We're gonna go ahead and skip the class controls for now. We're gonna head on down to the more general and the more social keys. Request help, that's a feature in beta that's not available yet. Chat with team would be your Y. Chat with all would be your U or enter. Scroll chat up would be your left bracket. Scroll chat down would be your right bracket. But I'm gonna go ahead and change that to scroll up, and then this would be to scroll down. Menus, you have select team, which would be period, select class would be comma, and share scores would be tab. Those 3 right there are pretty much like TF2 if you ever played that, and that's how the controls are for those 3. In the other section, you have ability details, which would be your left alt, tells you what the spell is, all that kind of stuff. Screenshots, so there is in-game screenshots you can take, and I'm sure they're in the if you go into program files, forward screenshots, they're probably right there. Tutorial mode, I haven't gotten actually into that yet, but it sounds like a cool feature. Get unstuck, I assume if your character's stuck, then using P would be the best choice. Show performance F8, I don't mind that. Now over to mouse, you have 4 standardized options. You have your sensitivity, your mouse smoothing, invert mouse, and invert turning. I just kept them how they were. Moving over to the game tab, you have your blood map alpha. I left that at default because I don't exactly know what that is. Tutorial mode, you can check that off if you want, check it on. I left it on. Camera shake on attack, if that bugs you, go ahead and turn that off. On defense as well. Field of view, if you have like a really good graphics card, I'd probably kick it up to max, but for now, I'll just leave it at default. Queuing period, not exactly sure what that is, but I haven't messed with it either, so that's pretty much default as well. Extra run speed. Now, there's a little funny note that you get when you try to click this. Forge is balanced. We would never do that to you, which I find to be kind of funny. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and apply all these. Go back, and we're going to move into the account section. Okay, so you're introduced to your 5 classes for the account. These are pretty much your stats for each class you've used, how much XP there is for each class. I can't click ability, stats, or armor yet. That's not available in beta, but it will tell me how much XP or how far I am. And it appears there is a by level button right here, but that's probably when you fill up your XP bar. And at the top right you have some information. Well, I don't have any information yet, but usually right there might be some rating or something like that later in the game. I'm not exactly sure. Moving on to community. When you go into community, you have 2 options that aren't clickable just yet. It's guild and friends. So yeah, go back, and then last but not least, quick play and play. When you hit quick play, you have 3 options: Team Deathmatch, Capture the Relic, and King of the Hill. Team Deathmatch, of course, is your standard get kills, win the game. Capture the Relic would be capturing points. If you've played Call of Duty or something like that, it's called Domination. And King of the Hill is similar to Halo. If you've ever played Halo, you capture 1 main point and try taking control of it as much as possible. Team Deathmatch and King of the Hill aren't available in beta, but Capture the Relic is. And then when you go to play, you pretty much can play with your own friend in a private match. That's in beta, but then later on when the game is actually released, you're going to be able to browse servers and create some groups. So that's pretty much it for the main menu and the settings, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please throw me a like. I will be doing more Forge footage in the near future, so be sure to subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys next time.